Monday.
Hello, Monday already.
I know, the weekend went by so fast.
So fast. It was a good weekend, though. I enjoyed my time off for sure.
The
How about you
weather
guys?
was amazing.
The weather, oh yeah. Well, I mean, especially because we knew we had some rain coming
Yes.
this week too. We had to really take advantage of it.
Get outside.
Enjoy it. It was fabulous.
Yeah, it was
What a difference. we're really you're gonna need those UGG boots tomorrow, Vanessa,
Yes.
for sure.
She's all over here trying to hide them, like, oh, let me hide the boots. We're like, let's just throw her under the bus right now.
Call me out wearing my Uggs right now.
now you can sit and comfortably.
Yeah.
You don't have
They're
to hide.
stylish
warm.
and comfortable.
Yeah, they're
Form
cute.
and function.
They're going. I'm wearing black, and they're black as well. So.
No need to hide them.
But umbrellas today.
Yes,
Umbrellas
and-
this whole week and a workout.
Very on theme because today's National Umbrella Day.
Unbelievable.
So
Crystal knew.
give yours some love. Open it up later on when we see those raindrops falling from the sky. It's been 20 days since we've had measurable rain here.
That's crazy.
So we'll take it. We're way behind. We're more than 6 times below the normal at this point in the year. So
Quite a drought.
bring it on.
And didn't you say that we know, like, it's, I don't know if it's folklore or whatever, but after a full moon, we actually are supposed to get storms?
Yeah, so
Snow moon.
moon lore from way back in the day when they used to use the moon phases to predict the weather, it was always said that days after a full moon are typically stormy, and we just had our full snow moon over the weekend, so
There you
Voila.
go.
That moon was crazy. I saw it come up
Amazing.
on Saturday evening. We were over in Scottsdale, and we
Yeah.
just saw it come up over the McDowell's there, and I was like, we were in a parking lot, and I stopped, and I was like, oh my God, look at that.
it was a
Unbelievable.
supermoon.
It was huge.
So it was closer in its orbit, so it appeared larger and brighter and all things wonderful.
Gosh, you did a lot of
Yeah, you were snapping
Yeah,
away
you
from
snapped
the
pictures.
weekend.
On
The
Sunday, you said the
sunset.
sunset.
Making your
Yes,
family
yeah.
stop and smell the roses a lot this weekend.
I was outside a lot. I had a lot of yard work to do on Sunday, so I was
yes.
outside
You
that.
picked a
but-
good day for it.
Yeah, we were running errands Saturday night, and that's how we saw that. Anyway, I know there's a lot of people tuning in. They're probably tuning in because of the subject that we have to talk about this
Yes.
morning.
Good talker.
Because this one is a great talker, yeah, and it's highly controversial for some. Others think it's just the
Or
way
just
of the world.
resigned.
It's normal.
Yes.
But should your opinions on social media affect whether or not you get hired at a particular job? And there's a new study. You guys can keep talking too while I walk over here, but
Okay.
I'm going to head over and show you exactly what we're talking about, because there's this new study that says that most employers actually are taking a look at your social media platforms to decide whether or not they want to hire you. So super interesting stuff here, because a bunch of them are actually not hiring people based on the things that they see. So here's where this comes from. It comes from Penn State University and what they're finding out. And they surveyed about 4,500 employees or so. So that's the numbers that you're getting into here. And what they found out is that strong opinions that people were posting on their social media was a negative thing. And they were also looking for self-absorbed posts. So, I guess that's like too many selfies or just showing people what you're doing at all times without actually giving credit to other people, things like that. And then this one, I don't even know why we have to say this, but like, if drug use, don't put drug use online. Like, what are you doing? Is that like whatever, we'll get into it. Just don't do it. It's not a good idea.
Just make your page private.
Yeah.
Vanessa,
You got a private page over there?
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
You wish.
Sure. All right. So here's what they're watching, and this is what we found out. 70% of employers monitor your social media, and 60% of them eliminated candidates based on the things that they saw on those social media pages. And the reason why they're saying that these things are a big deal, because we've had some comments from people, oh, well, what you do on your own time, it shouldn't affect what you do in the office, and they should only pay attention to what you do when you're in the building, it's not fair, yada, yada, yada. Well, here's the research, okay? So strong opinions make you seem like you would be argumentative. And okay, that might be your opinion outside of the office, but a lot of times people bring that argumentative attitude in the office, and that is not necessarily something that people want to have in their office. If they're hiring people, if they're bringing new people in, injecting new personalities into the office, you don't want to bring someone that's highly argumentative. I certainly get that. Too many posts seems like you're self-absorbed. So if you go through your Instagram story and you've got, 15, 16 ones a day, and it's just selfies of you and what you're doing and what you're cooking and all that sort of thing, they make you feel like you're self-absorbed. And if you're self-absorbed, then it could make you look like you're selfish. Now, this is all just research, mental research that they're finding out about what makes a person online translate to what kind of worker that they're going to be. So that's the research right now. So what we are asking is we want to know if this is right. I mean, clearly it's the way of the world, but is it okay? Should employers be looking at all this research to decide whether or not they hire you to come work at their place of business?
Well, Brian says, I always check my applicants' social media before I interview them. Peter said, I disagree with this invasion of privacy. And then Allison said, no, it's still a form of discrimination. And then Franny said, absolutely. One's private social media shows a lot about a person.
Yeah.
The discrimination comment, and with all due respect, I certainly get everyone's opinion, and that's okay. I don't know how it's discrimination. I mean, you don't have to put it out there.
Right.
True.
You don't have to put this stuff out in the public.
Yeah.
And they tell everyone coming out of college these days, be careful what you're posting because it'll come back to bite you.
Before then, they're telling kids in middle school and high school that your social media, it does not go away. Kids don't understand. They're like, oh, it's a Snapchat or whatever. It does not go away. And they're looking at it for colleges, as they should, because I think it gives you a good idea of what kind of student you're bringing into your university, especially if you're talking about scholarships and giving people opportunities. So we've started that talk from now. I mean, my son's not on social media, but you have to say, look, well, he does TikTok. Okay, so that counts. And I'm like, no, you cannot be dancing to a song that these words are not appropriate for your age because it's not going away.
I can't tell you how many stories I've personally done where things are up on the internet and kids go to school and they get in trouble for it, and then it becomes a whole deal, and then everyone wants to blame the media, saying it's our fault when you're the one that put it online to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's my fault.
Yeah.
I wonder, with colleges looking at this, potential hirers looking at this, if this would hold more people accountable on social media, because there's a lot of garbage that people are putting out there, mean things, and I wonder if people maybe would tone it down and actually put what's meaningful and, instead of just garbage.
Well, we've seen lately a lot of people who've lost their jobs because of things that they posted on social media. And so you'd have to think it would make you think before you post.
Yeah.
In a lot of instances, because, I mean, some people literally have lost their livelihoods because of a single post.
But there was that teacher recently that posted about the Kobe Bryant rape case like a day after he was killed in the helicopter crash. And she had her opinion out there, and she, it's her opinion. She can have it, but her school district was not happy about that, and I think she got in trouble for that whole thing. So here's the thing that people don't necessarily understand about free speech. You can say what you want to say. That doesn't mean there aren't consequences. Free speech was put in the Constitution because there were people being killed for the things that they were saying when the Constitution was created. And so it's not going that far, but that doesn't mean you can't be fired from your job for saying things.
Right. And also, in the same respect, for an employer to want to get the best applicant possible. It's their right to try to look for the best person. And what you're presenting in an interview, in an application, could be 180 from who you really are on social media. And I think, in all fairness, if I was hiring a business and you're talking about my bottom line, I want to do a little background check on people. I'm already doing your credit check. I'm already doing your criminal check. It's just another thing, in my opinion.
Well, Karen said, wait, as I recall, being strongly opinionated is good for critical thinking skills. She's saying it could be a plus.
You can be strongly opinionated, but when you put it out there publicly, that's what they're talking about. They're not saying that they don't want people who have opinions. It's just that putting them out there for everyone to see it could shed a bad light. I mean, depending on especially politics, have we seen. Like, I have a lot of friends that on Facebook will post about politics one way or the other, and frankly, it's just I'm just over it. Like, I know we still have a long way to go before the election, but I am just over it. And I have an opinion. I'm not the kind of person that goes and like blocks people and unfriends them. I do know people that do that, but I'm just over it. Like, I'm scrolling past. Like, I have friends that I just don't pay any attention to anymore, and that's that online anyway. Because I just don't want to.
Dating life, like with that, like what if you posted your drama on Facebook, like you're always fighting with your partner, or you break up and get back together, or you have multiple people that you're dating, or you're just bashing your partner? Like, I wonder if your employer would take a look at that and be like, oh, they have
There's
too
a
much
lot of
drama going on.
a lot of baggage.
Yeah. They're not going to be able to concentrate at
Well,
work.
think
Yeah.
if you were, I mean, a totally different example, but think if you were about to start dating someone or you went on a couple dates and then you went on their social media feed and you found out that they were posting about fights they had with an
Yeah.
ex and all that. I mean,
You'd be like,
yeah, wouldn't you think twice? You'd be
Yeah.
like, well, that could be me in a few months. I don't want to be a part of
red
that.
flag.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure your employer's thinking the same thing. So you kind of just got to
Flags.
be careful altogether in what you're putting on there.
And
you
be
know?
professional. Like, I think you could
Yeah.
still have an opinion or something, but, back it up with your facts or
Yeah.
the research you've done, or just be a little bit more thoughtful in your posting.
I always felt like I approached it like if you're not embarrassed for it to be on the front page, you probably shouldn't
Yeah.
be posting it in the first place because it is public. I mean, you can have private accounts, but obviously a lot of people are on your private accounts, so you do know and this
Right.
and that. So I don't know. I just think you just have to be so careful.
Well, Carrie said, yes, I think that if you use social media and your social media profiles are not set to private, then you are welcoming others to view and use against you. Social media can tell you a lot about a person that a resume cannot. Resumes are fluffed all the time. It can also show how much time you spend on social media and how that may affect your work and productivity at work.
That's a
good
very
one. Yeah.
well thought out,
Yeah,
good
totally.
sentiment.
See, that's a good post.
Yeah.
Great
It's a
post.
strong post right there.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I believe, said that Crystal, your hair looks wonderful today.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Thank
I was like,
you.
is that a warning that it's going to rain? The humidity is going down?
That's just called Monday.
Lazy on Monday.
No.
And so you could see
Love
that
it.
Vanessa and I are both having the little gold
with the-
hardware here.
Yes,
So in
I
order
like
to
it.
show it, you got to have your hair out.
That is a good point.
Yeah, this topic gets a lot of people. I understand why, because everybody wants to be able to have their opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion, of course.
It shifted a lot during the show. Like in the beginning, we were like 65+% saying no, employers shouldn't look at it. But by the end of the show, it was like 56 or something. Anyway, almost half and half. So people are shifting their opinions on it.
Regardless of what your opinion is, it's happening. And it's like, I actually I'm cool with the employers coming out and saying it now as part of the study because they were doing it anyway.
Yes.
So if you're going to sit there and say it shouldn't happen or it should happen, it doesn't matter. Like if you're running your own business, you can hire who you want to hire. In reality, I mean, there are certain safeguards and whatnot and diversity hires
Yeah.
and things that you have to, go through. But when it comes down to it, if you have a lot of different applicants, you can pick the ones you want. It's
Yeah.
your business.
But what if your page is private? Then do they have? Can
Well,
they ask you?
If your
like,
page
to-
is private, how can they see it?
Right.
I'm saying,
She's
but can they
like,
ask you, like,
no.
hey, can you unblock your page for a
No.
little bit so we can review it? Or
I think
they
that's
can't
different.
hold it against you for being private. Because to me, that's almost better.
Right.
Saying I'm not putting out my crazy
Yeah, that's
ideas
true.
and
Right.
thoughts
Not
to the
everybody can
world.
see
I'm just
it.
doing it to like my select few people who also like that I'm crazy and whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is safer for an employer. Wouldn't you
Totally.
think?
Yeah, you know what I hate about that though, and I know some bosses are good about this, some bosses are not. I have a private Facebook page for my friends and family and stuff like that, and people that I know. But you have bosses that like friend request you. And I know like I'm opening up Pandora's box on like a whole new subject here, but I just don't feel like a boss should ever friend request you.
Right. I
Like
agree.
if you're not like if the
you're not
employee
friendly.
does not friend request the boss, they should stay off there.
I'm kinda
personally,
with you on that.
Because
Yeah.
then it puts you in a terrible spot. Because then you either have to accept it and then they get to see everything.
Yeah, that you do,
Or
yeah.
you don't accept it and they know you didn't accept it.
I loved one of my bosses, but I didn't accept his friend request until he retired. And I was like, that's weird. Even though we can break bread and it's cool, it's still weird.
It's a thing though. I've had friends tell me, they're like, oh man, this guy like requested me, he's my boss, and I don't want to accept him. Like, what do I do? And I'm like,
Because you don't want
I don't
every
know.
time you have a cough,
lose.
your boss to be like, where was she last
Yeah.
weekend?
You lose.
You
No
know?
matter what, as the employee in that situation, you lose.
or
There's
if you're
no,
running
like,
late or
just
you
the way
call
it is.
in
Yeah.
and then they knew you were out the night before, they're like, oh, you know.
Fun night last night, eh? I know. It's too much sometimes, I think. Because you don't want them to know, like, what you do with your paycheck. That's how I look at it a lot of times. Like, if you want to work hard, play hard, travel, that's kind of your business. Go wine and dine. Whatever you want to do is kind of your business. It's my off time. I earn my money, and I like to spend it as such. But I don't want it to be judged later by a boss,
100%. It's not right.
Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
Right, like, it's not right.
I've thought about this, man. It's a tough situation
It is,
when you get
because
that
it
friend
happens.
request and you're like, this is a lose-lose.
It is.
It's a lose-lose situation.
You're
There's
right.
no winning here.
Donna said, don't post negative stuff because once it's out there, it's out there. Be
Right.
positive, show positive things, get positive vibes, and positive things should come your way. Oh, look at you on a Monday with all the positivity.
That's
love
a
it.
good Monday vibe.
Yeah. Okay.
In case you missed it,
We
Yes.
should.
let's do it. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right, finally, in other news, Russell Wilson showed off his new hairstyle
get out of the
over
way
the
here.
weekend. Oh, was that your hairstyle just pinned on top of it? All right, and in typical social media fashion, the internet is already mocking the
Why?
Seattle Seahawks quarterback. Well, what do you mean, why? Look at it.
Love it. Look, I mean, come on.
It looks
Talk
like
about a
Rick
gorgeous
James.
couple.
What is he doing?
I'm okay. Look, he can do no wrong in my eyes.
Oh, there you go.
Feeling a Prince vibe,
Prince.
also good.
This one's my favorite.
No,
Yeah, he's supposed to
stop it.
He's supposed to look like Uncle Jesse from Full House.
Stop.
I don't know about that one. Look, Russell Wilson he's a great quarterback,
Yes,
and
he
he's
is.
got a wonderful personal life and such a good role model.
Yep.
I feel like this is the first time he's faltered.
Good hair to boot.
Yeah. All right.
It looks like he just like washed it and
Yeah.
like, left it wet.
It was like a
wet-
windblown
yeah.
situation because he'd been growing it out. We were
Yeah.
talking about that because his
And I like
mop
that.
top was bigger.
Yeah.
We're big Russell Wilson fans in our household, so yeah. But when he did this whole like coiffed thing, I
I felt like, let me get a blow dryer, like,
Yeah.
you know, dry it out a little bit. It looks a little like
there's
wet.
a lot
Yeah.
of product in it.
Yeah.
But just handsome, handsome.
She's like, I don't care what kind of hairstyle he has.
I literally
He could
does.
shave it off.
Oh,
Yeah.
he would probably look good with a shaved head. That's why I stroked him
I know, that was hilarious.
on the air. I couldn't help myself.
I use the word pet. You had him.
I did.
Our producers taught me what a Brazilian blowout was this morning because I was asking how that happened. Like,
You're like, how does that
they were like,
happen?
it's like a chemical
Yeah.
straightening. I was like, you can do that? And
Yeah.
they were, I mean, how am I supposed to
It
know?
was popular. I'd say like a year ago. I felt like a lot of women were doing
Everybody was
that.
doing
So it's
Yeah.
like the anti-perm. It's like the opposite.
Yes.
Of,
Yes.
yeah.
And then it lasts for a long period of time, so that way you have straight
Caught
hair.
right on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You
it's
brought
good
back the perm.
Well, he didn't. He has the perfect like hair
has
already
great
for that.
curls,
He
yeah.
does. And the only thing that first of all, he can do whatever he wants, obviously. But the only thing that I'm a little concerned about is he's such a role model,
Right.
and as he should be because he seems like a good
Exceptional
dude
athlete.
anyway.
Yeah, good guy.
Other kids are going to start doing this too, and I don't.
Well, you don't want your son to have a blowout? A blowout in his hair, not his diaper.
We had 2 of those this weekend already. No, I just it might be the beginning of a trend. I think you might
Yeah.
see a lot more of this now.
Okay.
Okay with it.
That's okay for a little while.
Because his hairstyle that he was going for before he
Right.
had this blowout was also starting to be pretty popular.
Yes, I know.
Odell Beckham Jr. had a similar hairstyle, although his was bleached.
Yeah.
And
we
we've
were
seen.
growing our hair longer at home. Our boys, they like the mop top.
Yeah. No. So
Cute.
yeah.
But I don't.
we'll see how it
Nobody's
goes.
mentioned me. They want to do the Brazilian blowout yet. I feel like that clearly had a lot of maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the styling. So I don't know how many guys are going to be on board with that because that looked. It was very styled.
It was.
Which
I
is
wonder
great for
what
an
Sierra
event.
thought about it. Did they have is there any comments from her?
She would not let him walk out. Of
She
the house
must
if
love
she
it.
didn't Love it.
She wouldn't let him
Don't
do
you
it.
think?
You don't think that she asked him about that? Yeah, there's
I
really
guess-
look. I mean, the other marriages might be different, but there's no like changing of the hairstyle in a lot of marriages
Yeah.
without like it being discussed first.
That's true. Women always suggest things. Like when I've dated guys, I'm like, you should grow out your hair a little longer. Like do this, and they're like, oh okay, and then you train them, and then they look better.
And then you train them.
break up.
Don't gloss
Yeah.
over that. And then you train
You
them.
train them, and then
shine them up for someone
you guys
else.
break up, and they're better for the next person. And I'm like, ah,
You trained
always
another
happens.
one.
I know.
I
Stop
doubt
doing
that they were getting dressed for this event, and she did not give him the
Right.
once-over approval before they
Right.
left the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations to them. They're having another baby too. Did you see that on Instagram last week?
I
How
know.
cute. Speaking of babies,
Tell me.
if you're having a baby, listen to this. The next time you meet a Eva Beth or a Tessadora, thank the internet. New parents are making up baby names so that their child will have a unique identity on social media. Officials say there are now 60,000 different names registered each year. Right now, the top made-up name for girls is Mavery. The top made-up boy name is Jaspin.
Wait, so these are made
They're
up
made
names?
up. Yeah, they're trying to be unique and creative, so they just kind of like
So
make
it's
up their own
it's
name.
not their real name.
No, it's their
It's their real
made-up
name, but they're
name?
not using a common name like
Yeah.
Crystal,
Unique
Vanessa,
name.
Rachel, Ryan, you know?
Or just do different spelling, because take
Right,
it from
yeah.
me, I'll never get one of those cute little keychains with my name on it or anything, because nobody spells Crystal like me. I've only met a select few. So maybe not, if you're not making up a name, maybe even you're coming up with a creative
Different spellings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate here. I hate to say it, but like you have to think about your kids going to school.
You gotta think about grade
And
school.
They're going to get made fun of
Every time they have
with
to
tough
spell it.
names. They just are.
But even now, you think that it's like so many people
It's
are doing
worse.
it?
It's
you know?
worse now. I mean, with the age of social media, kids getting bullied for everything and anything.
It's a
And
made-up
I'm not
name.
saying you want like the super like easy cliche name or anything, but be careful out there. I mean, it's.
I like bringing
You set
back
your kids
old
up for-
names.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Some people bring
Yeah.
back, like when we were looking, I was looking for names that were out of the top like 1,000. You know, they put out the every year Social Security. I just like uncommon names, so they're not the 10th Harrison in the class.
Yeah.
But something that's a real name.
Yeah.
And has a real spelling, but it's just uncommon,
Yeah.
not. Same name.
So basically, just think about that. When
What
you're
do we know? Name your kid
getting
whatever
ready
you
to
want to name your kid.
Yeah, do
Take
your
a lot of
thing.
things into consideration, as well as what you're posting on social media. Those are the lessons for today.
Good
That's
topics
what we got.
today. Hey, we made it through Monday.
We did.
Head off to work, and then there'll only be 4 days left in the week, guys.
Yay! And it's Valentine's Day on Friday.
Singles Awareness Day on Friday. No,
Saturday.
Even
Ooh,
better.
falls on a great day.